Spartan Nation, what's going on? This is Ken, the super cool Spartan. My brother Brian, the super mad Spartan, is playing his usual producer position here as we have another classic Spartan series here. And you know, this guy here, I mean, wow. He I mean, he's done it all in terms of the world of music. And as usual, I had to write down everything here just to get everything right. He's a professional musician, producer, educator, composer, has a recording deal with the Sony distributed label Trippin' and Rhythm Records. He's had multiple #1 singles on Billboard, several chart-topping albums, multi-platinum records all over the place. He's worked with Kirk Franklin, Fred Hammond. He's worked with Will Downing. I mean, the list is endless. It's endless. Has his own channels on Apple Music, Amazon, Pandora. You can hear his music on Sirius XM radio. I believe the Watercolors channel specifically because I hear his music all the time. And you also can see him featured on the Spartans wheel commercial. I mean, this brother here is the definition of Spartans wheel. And he is a member of Kappa Alpha Psi. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to the stage, as they say, the one and only Mr. Randy Scott. What's going on, Randy, man? How you doing, man?
I am well, and thank you for that great introduction. I got to take you on the road with me, so you can
be the hype man, huh?
No, I'm the hype man. Yes. No, thank you so much for that, and thanks for having me.
Oh man, a pleasure. So before we start, Randy, I gotta tell this story. I've been thinking about this, man, since we have been trying to, get a date together to get you on here. So back in the day in a former life, many moons ago, I was aspiring to be a rap artist. And I would practice my little rhymes and stuff after school. And then that carried on to my days at Michigan State. So it just so happened, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Randy, I think I read about you in a local article here in the Metro Detroit area. And I believe at the time that you were my sister's band teacher. I think you were my sister's band teacher. And
probably.
And I made the connection with you. I was like, hey, Randy, I'm raw. I don't know nothing about recording stuff, man. You a fellow Spartan. And, this is a true testament about how you connect with fellow Spartans. But I was like, hey, man, I don't know what I'm doing. I just want to try this. And you were gracious enough to say, okay, let's just get it started. So we started recording, and that was my very first time in the studio. And as you know, when it comes to recording, you got to have some funds to do it. But you let me start, man, with really no money. I was a broke college student. And that's something I never forgot. Now, eventually I did pay you.
Right.
But, that was something that I never forgot. So I just wanted to let you know how cool this brother is, man. So.
Oh, appreciate that. Thank you.
So here we are.
I remember that, though.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I think I still have those cassette tapes too. I have to dig them out.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know. I'm going to play them because I don't know, if, the boom boxes like that exist anymore. But I still have those songs somewhere, man. I'll have to dig them out and play them for my son. So
very cool.
But let's go back to memory lane when you were a student at Michigan State. So what years were you at MSU?
I was there from 87 to 92.
Okay.
80 87 and 92. Yeah.
Okay. So you had the
And I'm
experience of both. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, and a lot of people don't know this because they, for some reason, everybody thinks I went to Cass Technical High School, but I actually went
Uh-huh.
to high school just outside of Philadelphia.
Really?
And
Okay.
yes, and when I went to Michigan State, I just ended up staying in Michigan. But yeah.
Okay. Wow. That's cool. I didn't even know that. That's cool, man. That's really cool. So you had the experience of both trimesters and semesters because when you were
hmm
leaving or your last year at MSU, that was my first year at MSU in
Gotcha.
92. So I never got to experience trimesters. People that I've spoken to who did go through that time, they said, well, some people said that they preferred it over the semesters because of the shortness, the class times, as opposed to just
hmm
having one long semester, for fall, then one long semester for spring. So did you have any issues
Gotcha.
with that at all?
You know what? And I'm telling my age, but it was so long ago, I don't even remember. I don't, because we're talking what, 30 years almost?
Yeah.
It's like I don't know. That was a long time ago. So actually no, it's way over 30 years because I've been teaching for 30 years. So
Wow.
yeah, I really don't recall, to be honest with you.
That's cool. That's cool. So while you're at MSU, as a student doing your thing, what hall did you stay in?
I was at Hubbard Hall
Okay.
um, for the first 2 years, I believe, and then two or two and a half maybe, and then I went to Spartan Village.
Okay.
So yeah, yeah. And
Okay.
and,
Yeah.
and what's really cool is my daughter's in her senior year at Michigan State right now.
Oh,
And
really?
she yeah,
Congrats.
and she started thank you. She started off at Hubbard Hall as well. So it was kind of a surreal moment. Moving her into that dorm.
Yeah, yeah. That's funny because I lived in Holden and my
Okay.
brother Brian, when he started at Michigan State, he stayed in Holden too for a minute. But I definitely had some good times visiting Hubbard. I think a lot of black folks lived in Hubbard.
I loved Hubbard, but my first year I was on 12 North. I was on the 12th floor.
Oh, wow.
And I when I tell you I had nightmares about that elevator for many years because
Uh-huh.
I got stuck in it. I got stuck in it several times
Oh,
and
wow.
between floors and had a
Oh, wow.
little roller coaster drop one time. So I'm
Really?
sure they have, yes, they have since
Gosh.
fixed it because I've written in it to move my daughter there. But so
Okay.
yeah, fortunately it's a little more updated than it was when I was there.
Oh man, that's funny. Yeah, it's so interesting going back to campus now, seeing how modernized it is. But I
hmm
think they
hmm
probably about gutted every dorm there now, to
Yeah.
21st century technology and all that
Yeah.
stuff. I remember the days of the trying to fight for a computer at the at the library and the computer labs
Uh-huh.
trying to finish up work, and now everyone has their own laptops, and they study with their laptops and probably sleep with them and all kinds of stuff.
Yep.
So, and
Right.
all the updates to the cafeterias now, everything's elaborate,
Yeah.
food halls, and
Yeah. The
like, wow,
cafeterias blew my mind. That
like,
blew my mind when I saw. I was like, whoa.
I'm like, where
Uh,
was this when? And when I started at MSU, I was still like, wow, this is pretty cool. I mean, you get to
right.
pretty much could eat to your face got all bloated and stuff. But today, like, there's a lot of choices, a lot of
Oh yeah.
choices. So I saw on your pretty cool website, everyone to check out Randy's website, randyscottonline.com. All of
hmm
your accolades on there, all your different albums on there, going way back to like the late
Mm-hmm.
90s. I remember sitting in the studio listening to some of those, your early records. And you graduated with a degree in music. Is that from what I saw on your website there?
Correct. Yeah, music
Okay.
education to be exact. I started as a music performance major, and then I
Okay.
changed to music education in my junior year. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. So how long have
yeah.
you been in as far as like music, have you always played an instrument, going back to your childhood, going back to your formative years, high school? Were you all in the high school bands and
Yeah,
all that stuff?
I I was. My mother was a huge Grover Washington Jr. fan, and for those of you who may not know who he is, he's a very, very famous jazz saxophonist who's got many hits that I'm sure all of you know. If you don't know his name, you've heard his music. But he was always being played in my house, and then my parents took
Okay.
me to one of his concerts, and the concert was sold out, and the crowd was going crazy. And I said, "That is what I want to do." So it came
Hmm.
time to select an instrument in the fourth grade, and I chose the saxophone with the encouragement of my mom,
Hmm.
and um, I just fell in love with it, and then they set up a meeting for me. I had a straight A report card one year, and I was this huge Grover Washington Jr. fan at this time. I was about 12 years old at this time. And I had learned as much as I could learn from his records. I was trying to, duplicate what he did. So they took me to see him, to meet him in person as a
Wow.
reward for a straight A report card that I got when I was 12 years old. So I went with my instrument. Now, mind you, I had no intentions of playing it in front of him, but for whatever reason, I had the instrument with me. He forgot his or didn't have it for some reason for this commercial he was filming for
Hmm.
donating blood to the Red Cross. So that was where we met on the set of this commercial. He ended up using my instrument in the commercial. And then we exchanged information, became very, very good friends from that point all the way until he passed away. Um, and I miss him dearly. He became my friend, my
Hmm.
mentor, and my friend. And I miss him dearly, and just really wish that he could have witnessed the success that I've had in recent years, because it was all because of him. In
Hmm.
fact, he is the whole reason why and how I ended up in Michigan.
Oh, okay.
I had a scholarship to Michigan State for classical music, and I had another scholarship to Berklee School of Music in Boston for jazz.
Okay.
And I asked him, what I should do because I was really torn. And he said, "Well, you really want to focus on your classical because that's going to give you your foundation. It's going to build um, a great foundation for you to be able to do anything." And so, because of that advice, that's why I chose to go to Michigan State and eventually moved to Michigan. So he's the reason I'm here for
Oh,
sure.
oh man. Shout out to Grover Washington, man. Wow. That's great. That's great. So while you were on campus, did you get a chance to check out any games live on campus? Football, basketball,
Yeah,
hockey?
I did. I was, I did. I was, quite honestly, I was always practicing because if I had to keep my grade point, I think I had to keep a 3.5 in order to keep my scholarship. So I
Okay.
was literally always studying and always practicing because I didn't want to mess up. But,
Okay.
at the time that I was there, I believe, if I recall, it was like Percy Snow,
Yes,
um,
that Rose Bowl team.
yeah, Lorenzo White, Tico Duckett, all of them. Um, it's around in that era. And then on the basketball side, it was Steve Smith who I remember most.
Mhm.
Um, and because right around, I'll say maybe 89 is when the Breslin Center came under, opened up.
Okay.
And I had an opportunity to play at the Breslin Center long after it opened for this big thing. I think it was called the Spartan Extravaganza or something
Mhm.
like that.
Oh,
And
okay.
and that was really cool because I had just finished or just won several shows on Showtime at the Apollo while I was a junior at Michigan State, and they kind of featured me at the Breslin Center during that time. So I do have a little bit of a connection with the sports, but I was really in that practice room and studying. Um, eh, to be honest with you, but then it was a little bit later, well after I graduated, I should say. What I really, really recall is
Mhm.
that Rose Bowl win that we had. I believe it was like 2014 or so. And
Yeah, yeah.
the reason why that's so significant is because my godson was playing in that.
Oh,
Um,
really? Who's your
Makaja
godson?
Makaja Reynolds is my
Okay.
godson,
Oh, yeah, I
and
remember him. Yeah,
he was
I
on the
remember him.
team, and that was just so exciting, you know. So yeah, and he ended up
Yeah.
going into the NFL and all of that, and it was exciting. It was really exciting.
Yeah, yes. I remember him. I remember, yeah, that team, and that's something that Brian and I
Indeed.
always talk about with that specific team because, that team really could have won a national championship if it wasn't for the slip up at Notre Dame that year. Yeah, that team really
Mhm.
could have won a national championship, but, yeah, at the
Mhm.
time, when that happened, I was living in Texas because me and my family had moved to
Mm.
Dallas, during
Gotcha.
that time of, the exciting time of Spartan football. But, I
Yeah.
remember, even though I wasn't at MSU at the time, but I remember, watching, like, in the Big Ten Network, the replay of that Rose Bowl of, back in the
Mhm.
88, 89 era with, Andre Rison and Percy Snow.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
yeah, and GP, as they call him, Coach George Perlis, because I remember when I lived in Holden, some of the football players lived in,
Right,
in
right.
the dorms, so they always talked about GP. So, but yeah,
Nice.
those were definitely some exciting times. So
Indeed.
so you graduated from Michigan State, and then as
Mhm.
that's when your professional journey kicked off.
Yeah, well, quite honestly, it kicked off in the middle of my junior year.
Okay,
So at Michigan State for the first couple of years, I was coordinating these shows called these showcases. One was called Showcase, one was called Vivant Affair,
okay.
another one was called Ebony Reflections, and they
Oh
were
yeah.
basically yeah, and so they were basically like talent. So just students around campus showcasing their talent, but then we combined it with a fashion show,
Oh yeah, I
and
remember that. I remember Ebony Reflections.
we bring in a professional artist. Um, and so one year we brought in Sinbad and the comedian, and so
Mhm.
Sinbad, I opened the show. Sinbad came on right after. So after the whole show was over, he was asking me about being on his show, which was at the time
Oh
he was the
wow.
host of
Mm,
Showtime at the Apollo in New York.
mhm.
And so um and so he said, "Well, you should be on my show." And I was like, "Well, all right." So we made that connection, and I don't know if you remember, but at that time there was Showtime at the Apollo, and then there was another talent show on TV called Star Search.
Yep, I remember those.
And
Yep.
yeah, well, Star Search was like the really polished, um, uh, how can I say this? It was very really professionally done, you know. Um, Showtime at the Apollo was kind of the ghetto
You
version
know
of
that,
that.
right? Yeah, I know where you're getting at.
And you know, I'm getting that. So Star Search, they would fly their talent out, put them up in really nice hotels, pay them well, all of that. Showtime at the Apollo, not so much. So I had to figure out how I was going to get to New York. Now, mind you, I'm a poor college student. So what I did around about February is when I started this process of trying to get funds to go to New York.
Mhm.
I made up these flyers that said it was around Valentine's Day. Send your sweetheart a song live
Oh,
for
okay.
I don't know what I was thinking I was charging $5 or $10 a song or something like that. So, and I was putting these flyers all over campus and I had my number on it and they would call and I'd fill out, I have a schedule book and all of that. So it was full for Valentine's Day.
Mhm.
The problem is on that particular Valentine's Day, it was a snowstorm. So
Oh.
but that did not deter me. I had my horn on my shoulder, my big coat, snow boots, and a boombox in my left hand. And I literally walked from dorm to dorm, room to room, all over the entire campus that entire day. It may have even been 2 days
Mhm.
that weekend, Valentine's weekend. And I was playing for couples in their room all over campus. And that's how I made the money to get to New York.
Okay.
Well, I get to New York and I have no place to stay.
Oh.
Because again, Showtime at the Apollo did not put me up in a hotel. They just
Right.
just get here. So I get there and I ain't, I'm kind of young and not too bright about planning. So I got to New York and had nowhere to stay. I'm making phone calls and finally found a cousin I had never met that lives in New York. Ended up staying with
Mhm.
my cousin. So then I get to the Apollo Theater in Harlem and discover that they are taping 3 shows back to back in the same day.
Oh,
They
wow.
asked all they asked all of the participants to have 2 to 3 songs, or at least 3 songs, and 3 changes of clothes, 3 different outfits, so that if you won, it would look weekly, like you're not doing it back to back.
Right.
So no one told me this. I had 1 song and I had 1 outfit. So I go up to the producer of the show and I said, I got 1 song and 1 outfit I didn't know. He said, "Oh, don't worry about it. You ain't gonna win anyway."
Oh,
I was
wow.
like, "Oh," as if I wasn't already nervous. So they start taping the show. And if you recall, they always have 2 professional acts for every
Mhm.
show.
Yep, I remember that.
Well, they were in the process of getting the professional acts taped first. Then they placed them where they wanted them for the actual show, but they were trying to get them out of there so they weren't sitting around. So they
Mhm.
had all the professional acts go first, and then the amateur portion would start. Well, out of the 6, because there's 3 shows, 2 professional acts per show. Out of the 6 professional acts, I watched 4 of them get booed.
Oh,
Like
wow.
bad. So
Right.
so bad that Sinbad had to come out and say, "Look, these are the professional acts. We paying these people. You're not supposed to boo them. This is not the amateur part of the show where you're booing folks. This is the professionals." He had to tell the audience this. So they had to
Wow.
retape. They had to retape them so that they could edit out these boos. So, okay, I'm freaking out because when I say professional acts, I mean these are people that everybody knew because they had hit
Mhm.
songs or they were comedians who everybody knew. Try not to say their names. But anyway, um, watch them get booed. Then they start the amateur portion, and person after person is getting booed. And I thought, when you watch the show, I thought some of that was rigged, like
Mhm.
it wasn't real. But
Right.
no, it's all real. Everybody's getting genuinely booed because the people are coming off stage just boohoo crying. I'm freaking out. It's sold out, by the way. Every seat in the whole
Mhm.
place is taken. So I come out. I did really well. I'm literally shaking as I'm playing, but it went really well. I ended up winning um, all three shows.
Oh,
This
okay.
after the first show, the producer, of course, is now my best friend, and they take me to Bed's dressing room and have me wear his shirts for the second and third show. Now, mind you,
Okay.
Sinbad is like 6'3", 6'4". His shirts, I'm like 5'9". His shirts is drooping off me. But yeah, it was, and everything was just crazy. Like the audience is just so brutal.
Mhm.
They
I
edit a
remember those,
lot for
yeah.
TV.
Okay.
They edit a lot for TV. And the only reason I believe I even won the second and third shows is because the talent level kind of decreased as the shows progressed. I got lucky, basically. So to answer that was a very long roundabout way of answering your question. Your question was, when did I turn professional? Well, I got my first record deal offer from Warner Brothers after I finished those three shows at the Apollo. So
Oh, wow, okay.
technically speaking, I became professional not long after that, probably my senior year, like 91,
Mhm.
um, is when I started playing professionally. So yeah, it was a journey.
So how were you able to balance that with, your college work? Because I had to imagine you going back and forth between that and still gotta maintain that high grade and getting through,
Yeah, it wasn't.
the life of college.
Yeah, that was college was always my priority.
Mhm, okay.
Um, after that win and after these record deal offers, I certainly was my head was in the clouds. Like I wasn't focused so much on school, but it took my parents to say, look, don't forget why you are there, and you're almost done,
Mhm.
so once they cracked the whip on me, then I became a lot more focused. And I was offered a huge signing bonus from Warner Brothers after that Apollo win. My
Okay.
father said to me, he said, now think about this. If Warner Brothers is willing to offer you that amount of money, how much do you think they're going to make? And let's really look at this contract. And it took him
Yeah.
to because I didn't know, and nor did I really care. It was Warner Brothers, and they were offering me a lot of money, and I had no money.
Right. Right.
So, and that's the trap that many young artists get leered into. And so I'm grateful that my father had the foresight to guide me around that.
Oh, that's good.
So yeah,
That's good. And I'll give a special shout out to your parents too, Randy, because I saw your post about them celebrating their 60th wedding anniversary.
60th,
So,
60
special
years,
shout out to
yeah.
your parents. Yeah, your dad, man,
Thank
he's
you.
really cool. I remember your dad,
Yeah.
recording in your studio.
Yes.
He's very cool dude, and shout out to your brother too,
Indeed.
man. He was cool. I know he's a super
Yeah.
producer like yourself. So
Thank
yes,
you.
yeah, the
Thank you.
Scott family, boy, they're a force to be reckoned with. Yeah,
I
force to be
appreciate
reckoned
that.
with for sure. So,
Thank you.
oh, no problem, man. No problem. Like I said, we go way back. I mean,
Yes, we do.
we go
Yes,
way,
we do.
way back. You gave a young pup like me my chance to, to where I'm at now. I mean, I still write some rhymes here and there, but, I have some,
Nice.
doing the podcast, some other things here too. So, but hey, this is about you, not about me. It's about you. So,
Uh,
so you mentioned just a moment ago about the trap that young artists get into, and I know the game has changed a
mhm.
lot now. Even though
Mhm.
I'm not into
Mhm.
music as much as I was back in the day, but I still read about, what goes on in entertainment, more from a business side, with,
Mhm.
film and television and music. And I know
Mhm.
it seems like nowadays, and correct me if I'm wrong, because you're still in that music space, but it seems like nowadays that uh as an artist, you really don't need a record label per se. I mean, maybe just to get your music distributed, but as far as, you know, like back in the day, going to a studio and you're recording on the studio's dime, and then they recoup all the money
Mhm.
first, and then they play all those games about, okay, oh yeah, you can check the books, and you get that check for like
Mhm.
$1.50 after all that hard labor you've gone through. But for those, aspiring musicians who are Spartans who are doing the same thing that you were way back in the day,
Mhm.
what kind of advice would you give to up and coming artists, who trying to get into the game today in the mid
Uh,
2020s, 21st century?
don't major in music. Do another career. um, and I'm joking, but I'm not joking.
Okay.
'Cause I got a lot of students who ask me that question, and
Mhm.
as passionate as I am about music, um, what I tell them is definitely follow your passion and your dream, and I'll never discourage anyone from doing that, but you have to be it has to be another level of passion for you to do music professionally, in my
Mhm.
opinion. Especially if that is what you want to do full time. And
Okay.
the reason is because the music business, as you stated, is always changing, but it's not always consistent in terms of pay. In the
Okay.
meantime, you have a cell phone bill and a car note and a house note, and all of those things are consistent.
Yes.
Music is not always consistent on every level. I even had I'll never forget a conversation I had with Aretha Franklin, who told me the same thing. She says on
Mhm.
every level, you've got to learn how to budget your money and be wise with spending. But also to answer your question, my advice is if you're gonna do music, number one, be passionate about it. If you're not, do something else because you'll
Mhm.
save yourself a lot of grief and struggle. Um, but if that is what you want to do, then try to have as many different irons in the fire as possible, whether it be teaching privately or teaching school or
Mhm.
college, or in my case, I decided to get my master's degree in IT because I have a passion not only for music but with computers. I'm a computer nerd. But
Okay.
what I did was merged the two together. I
Okay.
figured out a way how to merge the knowledge that I have for computer technology with music because they're already integrated anyway. And
Mhm.
so um, there's that. There is commercials. I was doing music for commercials for a long time before I started doing records, really.
Mhm.
Um, Many different avenues you can do that are related to music, but what you're doing is ultimately you're diversifying your income and you're having
Okay.
several different streams of income, um, and not dependent. And that's my advice: is uh, not being dependent on one source of income when it comes to music. For example, if your intent is to play at church, that should not be your only source of revenue because you you could be gone next week if you have a little falling out or something, you know.
Mhm.
But always just have many different things musically related going on at the same time. That is how you can sustain yourself and survive financially. The other piece of advice would be to constantly um, practice and improve and take lessons and study with people who are better than you. Even at the level that, with the things that I've done, I'm constantly looking to study with people who are better than me. Um,
Mm.
Lately,
Okay.
it's been virtual. I take lessons virtually from people that I found out about through the internet. I study with them virtually. It's an ongoing learning and development. The other thing is finding your niche because there's
Mhm.
so many musicians. It's a gazillion saxophone players. But just, finding, I came to terms a long time ago with knowing that I would never be the best at what I do. But I found that my niche, my niche is,
Mhm.
is, this, this space in contemporary jazz that is soulful, mixed with gospel, mixed with R&B. Um, it's just I can't describe it, but I found my niche and
Mhm.
I stay in that lane.
Okay.
At the same time, I'm practicing bebop and straight ahead jazz and really difficult things, but my niche when it comes to recording, I found that. So,
Okay.
it constantly improving, um, learn piano. That's a huge piece of advice for any musician or vocalist because that is like the foundational instrument and around which everything else is performed and created. So learning piano and theory is really really helpful.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, those are. Oh, and last but not least, and this is probably one of the most important, is knowing the business. That is so important. It's
Mm,
it's
yeah.
almost it's almost even more important than, or at least equally important as practicing your instrument because you can be the
Mhm.
best instrumentalist, vocalist you want to be, but if you don't know the business, nobody's going to hear it other than, a
Right.
tape that sits on your shelf in the basement. So knowing the business you know, if you are presented with a deal, knowing what's acceptable and what's not. But to your point, you
Mhm.
had an earlier statement about the fact that you may not even need a deal at this point, and that's certainly the case because everybody's doing their own thing. Even the fact that I'm able to, record in the comfort of my home, which most people can now.
Mhm.
You don't have to go to a studio and pay a ton of money. It works the same way with getting your music out. You don't necessarily need a record label to do that. So that's my advice. It's a lot. It's a lot.
No, but it's all good information, man. It's all good information.
Yeah.
Well, Randy, man, it was a pleasure, man, to have you on here. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. My
Yes, I know we've
pleasure.
been trying to get you on here for a minute. I'm glad we did. You always have
Yes.
an open door here on the podcast.
I
And
appreciate that.
yes, yes. And like I said, we want to make sure you guys check out Randy Scott, on all
Hmm.
of the different platforms, Apple Music, Pandora, Amazon. Make sure you buy his full albums.
Hmm.
Don't just buy a song, buy a full album. Check him out, randyscottonline.com. And once again, Randy, thank you, man, for being on here. It's been a pleasure.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yes,
Hmm.
sir. Go green.
Go white.